Good morning. Welcome back to Connect with Heather for positivity and productivity. Have you been wondering how wonderful it is to go out on the roads when you do go out and think, wow, there is no traffic out here. I can get anywhere I want to go. Well, are you also thinking when you're at home, oh my goodness, look at the traffic happening in this house? Well, today we are going to be talking with a specialist who helps us take care of that traffic carpeting and flooring in our home and helps us sanitize for COVID. So we're going to be asking some questions of Jeff Martin today with HeavensBest, and I hope you enjoy our program. I'd like to give a shout out to our previous guest, Anthony Mercer with Cutco. Please be sure to go back and tune in to our replays at WMT Global Properties business page, or our social page or group is Social Distancing Connects. We look forward to connecting with you. And in this time, as I've previously mentioned, there are so many of us that are having needs. They're individual. If there's anything that we can help you with, any of our partners or ourselves, please feel free to connect with us on any of our pages or give us a call. Or when we post our replays, please go ahead and make a comment or send us a message, and we will be more than happy to help you with any of our community needs or our community resources to help each and every one of you get through this time. And of course, if you just need a minute to talk, feel free to give us a call. Well, today I'd like to give a warm welcome to Jeff Martin with HeavensBest. Hey, Jeff, how you doing?
Great, Heather. How are you?
I'm doing well, thank you.
Great to see you.
You too. It's so nice to try to catch up with each of our friends, at least a little bit in this manner, right?
Yes, absolutely.
Well, speaking of catching up with friends, how's your son doing?
He's doing great. He listens to a lot of music. He's wanting me to go out there and pass football with him every evening. So yeah, he's holding his own for sure.
That's wonderful. And so when we get started, why don't you let us know where you're located and how long you've been in business?
Sure. So we're located right almost at Buford, and that's actually a Lawrenceville address. I've also got a couple of vans up in Decula, right there next to Buford in the Hamiltonville area. So, we're we've got them up here at North Gwinnett. That's where we're located. So been in business for 6.5 years doing what we're doing.
And I know you've had a great past in your journey. You want to tell us a little bit about your journey and how you got to HeavensBest?
Sure. So basically, I spent most of my life in management. I went to school to be a computer programmer. I came out and did that for 1 year and realized that I would prefer to be with people than a computer screen. So, it was great in college because you're doing things in groups. It was a hoot, and I loved it. Then you get into the work environment, and it's you and one computer screen in an environment that's quieter than a museum. So it just wasn't for me. So I decided to work with people, got into restaurant management, started out as a manager trainee, then went to general manager and then director of operations, then decided to get into hotel management. I did that for 4 years, managing 2 properties, and then promoted. My first area I had was from Buffalo, New York to Bangor, Maine. So a little different weather up there. But anyway, yeah, it was good. 16 years in the hotel business, working with people. And we wound up got through 3 acquisitions. We was purchased by a major financial company. Things kind of changed. Actually, when I was asked to come here to Atlanta, the day that I moved into my house, the senior vice president and the vice president of the area was let go. Things were changing drastically with the new financial company coming in. So anyway, I just decided to start looking for something that I felt like was the best in this industry. I did not know what that industry might be at the time, but I kind of went back to my time in the hotel business. And if we could have fixed the odors in the rooms, the issues that we had with carpet cleaning, we could have had a huge impact on our guest service scores. So I started looking into different methods. We did the standard hot water extraction, steam cleaning method. And we just had so many issues. And so I started looking at a different method of cleaning, and that's kind of what led me to HeavensBest. I looked into different dry and low moisture methods because it was all the water that was causing all the problems. And HeavensBest actually had the best results for the customer. And that's really what I was looking for. I had a lot of experience with, as a customer with carpet cleaning, didn't know anything about doing it. But having run 86 properties in 17 states, that was a lot of rooms that we had carpets cleaned in. So I decided to get in to look at who has the best method. And to me, HeavensBest had hands down the best results for the customer. So that's why I chose what I'm doing.
So bringing up the best method, why don't you tell us a little bit about what makes HeavensBest different and how
Sure.
that better suits our homes and our commercial properties?
Sure. So as most people think of carpet cleaning as the steam cleaning or hot water extraction method. Basically what they're doing is using a lot of water and putting into your house along with some soap and extracting what they can. Probably should be called hot water dilution, actually, because you're basically diluting the dirt and pulling it out. So the problems that come with that, though, that we found, and I found in the hotel business, is first of all, odors. Sometimes people would leave pets unattended, and we'd call in the carpet cleaners, and it'd be better for a day or two. But then sometimes the smell got worse as the stuff set than it was even before we called them out. A lot of times we would go into rooms and see stains. We'd get the carpets cleaned. I'd ask the general managers, how do your rooms look? And they'd say, oh, they look good. And then we go back and the stains are right back again. And they've got this deer in the headlight look, and they don't know what's happening. I don't know what's happening. I'm thinking they're not checking their rooms. It took a while to figure out through some research that it's actually a process called wicking, which means anything wet looks for something dry. So the carpet dries on the surface first because that's where your airflow is. The pad underneath it stays wet for days or damp. And so eventually everything that's been pushed down now is coming back up. And that's what creates the re-staining. The carpets would buckle on us. We were spending so much of the time of our money, R&M money, replacing carpets. I also noticed when we take out the carpets that the subfloor would just be black with mold. So what really got me interested in this method after I was no longer with a hotel business is I was getting a lot of migraines, and I just thought it was stress and found out it was caused by mold. Well, the mold was caused by carpet cleaning. So that's really the reason that I knew that this was a better method. It cleans better. And also, and our solution actually has been proven to clean better than anything on the market. And not only is it clean better, but it's healthier. You're not going to get the mold. You're not going to have your carpets buckle on you. You're not going to have the stains reappear. So there's so many reasons that this method is better.
Wonderful. Well, I know that you've got crews and a lot of people going in a lot of directions. And as a business owner, part of our program is really to share light with other people and some motivation on some of the habits that we have as business owners, whether it's this time or, times past. Is there habits that keep you motivated as a business, and something you'd like to share with us with your mindset and how you are continuing to work with your crews?
I would say, first of all, we're all products of decisions that we make. We don't have complete control over what happens to us. I mean, if you look at what's going on now, there are so many people in different boats. I saw your interview with Steve Walton. I think it's amazing what they're doing with the gowns. I thought that was just awesome. But there was a comment that you made that we're all in a boat, just some of us have different boats. And that's very true. We don't have control over what happens to us a lot of times, but we do have control over how we react to it. And as a business owner, and in the past business manager, basically our jobs is to make decisions. We make decisions on a lot of things every day, sometimes when we don't even realize it. So our mindset, our attitude, those are all just basically just one of the many decisions we make every day. And I don't think we get up in the morning wanting to make a bad decision for our company or for ourselves. So if we don't want to make a bad decision, why would we decide to have a negative mindset or a bad attitude? Because it is a decision. So I think that's really one of the things I would point out, is that we always want to keep a positive mindset, be focused on positive things to take us through. The other thing that I would say to any business owner, and it's always been something, I've got a saying, procrastination is the first step of failure. So that's, to me, that was really the thing that helped me, and I tried to help others. You know, every day we're faced with a lot of things on our plate. And I wonder, even for myself today, what would go easier today for me if there's something I would have done yesterday. Mm-hmm. So anytime we put off something that we can do today till tomorrow, I think that's going to negatively impact our tomorrow. So that's really the number one thing I would say to anybody who's looking to get into business, current business owners, business leaders, is don't procrastinate. And that doesn't mean that you have to always be focused just on business. There has to be that balance with life, with your family. But those are all things that you still need to do. So those are, don't put those off either. So make that as part of, like my son, he wants to go out and play football. So I'll put that on my imaginary to-do list, is I don't want to forget that part of it too. So
absolutely,
I don't want to put that off to tomorrow. Sometimes I come in, I'm a little tired, so I may not do it every day, but it's not something I'm just going to say, oh, we'll just do it tomorrow.
Well, I know in a lot of groups that I'm talking with in our coaching group, we talk a lot about morning rituals for each of us, and things that we naturally do in the mornings prior to this time. And many of us are still focusing and making sure those are part of our days. And I've mentioned that in some of our other interviews, is, Miracle Morning, or some of the apps that are out there. There's so many resources to help each of us continue to do those rituals in the morning and the evenings to keep ourselves going. Just like you said, the balance between our families and our work. And in order for all of them to stay successfully moving, even in this time, we have ritualistic things that each of us should have. And if we don't, or you don't, out there that are listening to us or joining us, please, by all means, connect with us. We'll be more than happy to help coach you through that and help that process, and maybe help you add some of those new things to your life, and hopefully get more things done in a day. With your new
one
protocol.
Thing I could mention too, Heather,
yeah,
going back to that, is one of the things I used to do a lot, and I still do some. I don't do as much as I used to, but a simple to-do list is very effective. And I really learned to do that when I was in college in an accounting class. The professor shared a story about a CEO. And so every morning that CEO would come into his office, and he'd open up his drawer and look at a piece of paper and put it back. So everybody always wondered what was on that piece of paper, and thought it was probably some kind of motivational thing or prayer or whatever. One day he goes to get some coffee and leaves that drawer open, and 2 doors down, the guy just couldn't resist wanting to know what was on that piece of paper. So he goes and looks at it, and it simply said, debits left, credits right. And so he's the CEO of an accounting firm, and a long time ago, he had a hard time keeping debits and credits straight. So he decided he did not want to have to use his mind to think about things that he needs to do, but rather how to do them. So he just took that off his plate and just wrote it down. So I thought that was kind of a neat thing, that if we write things down, and it just helps us to keep organized.
I like to call those systems.
Yes, absolutely.
So we start with to-do lists, and they move to checklists, and then they move to systems, which actually are formal written plans. So each of the things that we plan to do, we can take less of the thinking process that is taken each of those times, and simply just following the system. And It allows us to be more productive. It allows us to, in actuality, become more successful And it also allows us to be professional and for people to see that our systems allow us to present ourselves authentically and systematically. So much so that I like to say with our team that, you know, someone will ask me, hey, Heather, I have a friend or a family member who's a realtor. Should I just use them rather than using your team? And I get that question a lot. And my answer to that is, if you know how their business practices are run and you know their systems, and you know for a fact that you as a friend or family member would get served the same way you would if you were any other client in their business, then by all means use them. If not, we would love to work with you because our team does provide those services. And many of our testimonials are actually from friends and family who have chosen to work with us and realize that they will in fact get the same service across the board because of the systems we implement.
Absolutely. And so, you know, I go back to when I was in the hotel business. I had a manager that I was working with, and he was just down the dumps one day, and I had told him about the importance of doing, you know, keeping track of what you're doing. And he said, man, my first shift called off, my second shift called off. I've been at the front desk. I didn't get anything done that you wanted me to get done. I just feel like it's been a failure. It's a complete failure today. So I said, well, you did save some payroll, right? And he said, yeah. I said, did you get the money to the bank? Yes, that we did get the deposit done. I said, did you, how many rooms did you sell today? And I started going through this whole checklist of things that he actually did do, although he felt like he didn't get anything done. And I said, so, and I repeated back to him, I said, so we got this done, this done, this done, this done, this done. How can you say it was a failure? You didn't get done what you wanted to do, but you did get some things done. So if you track that stuff, it just makes it can help you get in that positive mindset.
Absolutely. We were just talking about the tracking aspect yesterday in our coaching call. That's because tracking helps us to see our successes. Mm-hmm. It also, right now, we're all having to tweak daily, right?
That's right.
So it helps us know where we need to tweak. So exactly. Absolutely. Well, thanks so much for talking a little bit about, we kind of got off on our business, but this is how
tangent, yeah.
this is how we work and produce in our businesses and with people around us. So that's awesome that we're getting to share that. With the time that we are in right now, is there something that has pleasantly surprised you or that you're appreciative for?
A couple of things, you know, I think that some people may have the idea that, you know, as they go out in public, maybe they're not at high risk, but you still see people wearing masks because of respect for other people. That may be. So I think that I've noticed more respect that goes along with this. I mean, obviously you go to the store and only half the people are wearing masks, but you know, I think a lot of people, some people are wearing it to protect themselves, but I think other people are wearing it to protect others. So you do see that level of respect that people are giving to each other, the 6 foot distancing and so forth. And the other thing I would say is it's been really good. I don't think I've seen a time where not only our government, but our community is rallying around small business. So that's something that I don't think I've seen before that I really appreciate.
Yes, and we did talk with our local church a couple days ago, and we have some other programs coming up with our community for small businesses and the efforts that are going on in our community. Absolutely, that is something I think all of us are trying to work together on and continue to do. In your life, has there been someone who has been an ambassador of light for you, or has been the role model that has kind of been someone you've looked up to?
Oh yeah, I'd say my dad. He's he always had, that's where I got my work ethic from. He's always had a great work ethic, but yet always able to lead a balanced life. So I think that's been a great example. Not awesome. To go too far one way or the other.
Yeah, that's wonderful. Well, Jeff, I think our time is drawing nigh right now. Would you share your contact information with us?
Certainly. You can reach me at 678-822-1558. And I'll repeat that, 678-822-1558. My email is j.martin@heavensbest.com. And also feel free to visit my website at www.heavensbestga.com.
Wonderful. Well, thank you so much for joining us today, Jeff. We've so appreciated it, and we look forward to having you again. And please, by any means, if any of you need to get in touch with Jeff and cannot remember that information, we will attach it when we post our program. And for any reason, again, if you need anything, assistance in the community, just to talk, or real estate needs, please feel free to contact us at 678-775-2699. And we look forward to catching again with you soon. Have a wonderful day.